della Vergine Maria che ti annulla Satana.
Gabriele Amorth, you know, he did a job that when I first heard about it, I thought somebody had made it up. Exorcism is my job. But there actually is a job as the chief exorcist of the Vatican, and he did that job for 36 years. He grew up in the town of Modena in Italy. So at 17, he goes to Rome. He travels to Rome. He goes to the Paulist Brotherhood. He says to the chief priest, you know, I want to become a priest. I've had a calling. And that man says, you're not old enough. You've got no life experience. You've got nothing to teach people or empathize with. So come back when you've got some more life experience. Now it's 1942. The Second World War is raging, you know. Italy is, of course, a fascist country at this point in time. Gabriele Amorth gets back to Modena and makes the decision to join the resistance there. He becomes a partisan fighter. So now this is a young man who knows he has a calling to serve God. Now he has a gun in his hand and he's shooting to kill. You know, he's wounded himself during that experience, comes out of his war years and goes into law school, completes his law degree, and then starts working as a journalist, but still has this feeling, this calling. So he goes back to that same brother at the Paulists and says, the calling is still with me. And the guy says, well, now, 10 years later, you have that experience I was talking about. You'll have that empathy. You have some wisdom on board. You've had extreme experiences. So when people are in peril or when, you know, they're sad or whatever, you've got something to say. So come on board. So then he goes to theology school when he's nearly 30. So that's the beginning of the next section of his life, which is 30 years with the Paulists, which is about communication. He produces radio. He produces television. He writes hundreds and hundreds of articles. He becomes this incredible figure. It's not till he's turning 60 that Father Candido picks him to take over as chief exorcist. And from what I read and talked to people about, Amorth was shocked. He was like, how can that possibly be? I'm basically, yes, I am a priest, but I'm a journalist. How can you be coming to me to talk about being an exorcist, you know? And Father Candido said, I can't tell you why you're the one, Gabriele, but I just know you're the one. And that leads him to being the chief exorcist for the Vatican for 36 years and writing 12 books about his experiences. I found him as a character absolutely fascinating. And the two things that it boiled down to for me, the reason I believe he was so effective in his job, is the purity of his belief on one hand and the availability of his sense of humor on the other hand. If you're dealing with afflicted people all the time, you're dealing with people that are in the darkest phases of their life and their families around them, you know, and you're the man who's supposed to be trying to bring some relief to that person or bring that person to the light, you can imagine that having a sense of humor would be very important to keeping your own sanity. My favorite thing that he said is probably when he said, you should never do yoga. Because yoga requires of you to put yourself at the center of the universe. And surely that is a position that should be occupied by God. So just do stretching.